Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video. Welcome back to another episode of the Champions Climb featuring Fiddlesticks. And I believe, again, I'm just going to completely double check. We've only done one episode of Fiddle so far, I'm pretty sure. And which was in Iron, and we're now on the Gold episode. Yes, correct. Good. So yeah, we're watching a Gold Fiddlesticks player. Now what I liked about this guy, when I found him, he's improved quite a lot. So his ranked history, yeah, he was like a bronze kind of player for a few years, bronze, silver, and has now made his way into low gold. So there's obviously been some clear improvement by the player, and I thought it'd be kind of cool just to see how he does. He's also against Udyr. Of me recording this, Udyr is, and it's weird for me to say, the strongest jungler in the game. Before even the XP nerfs to the jungle, he was one of the strongest, and because he hasn't really been affected, he didn't get nerfed, he still hits level 4. Level 4 from one first clear, and then he can just kind of bully people quite early on, and then the item synergy, very fast, very tanky, his damage isn't bad. So Udyr is in this game, so Fiddlesticks, I'd say, is a not bad jungler by any means, but not Udyr level at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes in this matchup. So Fiddle's actually, you can see, dragging the blue, and like a good Fiddle player, he's learned obviously where the point is that he can stand, which is like exactly here on this side, that doesn't reset the blue, and he can pull the Grop when it spawns, and you're doing one of two things. One, you're jungling more efficiently because you're clearing it faster, but also it's actually helping him because the drain will give him obviously more lifesteal and all that stuff. So really good to see that. The only thing I'd say is a little bit weird from this Fiddlesticks at the start of the game is the fact that he's gone the blue smite, which is fine, but did opt for 3 health potions. Generally, a lot of Fiddles don't do that. Either refillable if you don't want to do the ward tactic, but the ward tactic is quite popular on him, so he doesn't really need potions to do jungle clearing, so he'll buy a control ward level 1 and just get some basic jungle vision. Usually if you're starting up blue here, you might put it at your entrance, you might even put it on your red, just to have that increased security of I'm not being invaded, because that's generally a mage jungler's weakness. Fiddle, Karthus, even Evelyn in the early game is getting invaded. So, yeah. Again, has got the paths really locked down here, knows the spot, and is going to stand in the exact spot. Well, actually, red is going to. He mucked it up a little bit, but he saved it. Do you know, guys notice? The reset bar's up there. It nearly reset. He adjusted, and he saved it from resetting. So, again, a good adjustment. Good that he noticed that. And that's, yeah, overall really good. Just again, worth knowing and just announcing, the next champion that we're going to be doing in this series is Lee Sin. We're continuing the jungle. If you're a Lee Sin main of any rank, but you are a ranked player, feel free to get in touch, because I'm going to start building that list. And maybe the upcoming Fiddle one, the Lee Sin series after the Fiddle one, we'll try and get as many viewers in it as we can. I doubt we have like a challenger Lee Sin main who watches, but maybe we could get a Iron, then Gold, then Diamond from the community, possibly, and that would be cool. So anyway, first gank from Fiddle with a Yasuo, gets a good silence, gets the fear, now going for the drain, good knockup by the Yasuo, timing it well, and Diana arguably, she goes down. Yeah, she needed a flash way earlier than that. She let Yasuo do way too much damage. She arguably could have survived that by flashing early. So first Scuttle Crab secured, and no Udyr. Don't know where Udyr is. He's not on the minimap right now. And yes, by the way, worth knowing, there isn't Annie in top lane. No idea why. Could be a... Well, we now know. Her name's the Dark Child, so it's clearly a one-trick that didn't get mid. So they're playing Annie top. So both Scuttles secured for Fiddle. That's really good for Fiddle, but that's also really bad on the Udyr. We've mentioned a bunch. Why is jungle so problematic in its nature? A lot of it comes from... if both of you fully clear your jungles, you're technically on even experience. So what makes the difference is, well, one, invading and stealing away camps, or the neutral camps, the Scuttle Crabs, all that stuff gives a really good experience. And if one jungler is getting both Scuttles, you can see Fiddle's level 4. We can just quickly see over there, you might not be able to see, but he's still level 4. Udyr's level 4. So Fiddlesticks is right now out leveling an Udyr simply because of the 2 neutral camps being taken. And the same goes to dragons and all that stuff. That all gives XP. So that is a big thing of why there is so much differences in the jungle. And Fiddle's doing what I would say a really good clear. Does, in essence, a full clear. From memory, he didn't do Krugs. But then got the first gank off. after the Scuttle Crab, I believe. Got the kill with the Yasuo, then did a bit more clearing, and now he's going Dragon. This so far is actually really good. Nothing bad at all happening. Very efficient, very good. Farming well, out-farming. Technically, the highest farm in the game right now is the Fiddlesticks. And if they can secure the Dragon, that's massive. And it is going to happen. So, there it is. Really good. Again, Fiddle is not what you would deem an early game powerhouse jungler. He farms, he wants to get to that level 6. He doesn't usually gank that much pre-6, maybe once or twice, but it's about getting level 6. He's doing a great job. Like, even like securing that extra dragon is like a bonus thing. And yeah, just doing overall really well. That's what I want to see. And obviously, the big thing that we want is when Fiddle hits 6, what is he going to do then? Is he going to... I'd argue with Fiddle, bot lane is like the prize to go to because your ultimate is a big AoE ultimate, and that means you're going to, arguably affect more opponents than not. So there's 2 opponents. Meanwhile, Yasuo does go down in mid. Udyr uses flash to go for the gank. But there's 2 opponents that your ultimate can land on bot lane, doubling the chances of a kill. So that's where I would always say, like, when you're in league and, you want to use logic sometimes to dictate, like, probability and where's the jungler going, an AoE ganking jungler like Fiddle is more likely to go bot. It's the same with, like, Pantheon, if it's Pantheon top or Pantheon jung, whatever. He's going to go bot lane a lot because, again, it's doubling your chances of these type of big ultimates. At least in my experience, that's what it is. But yeah, going for blue. Going to do the same AoE clearing. Gold-wise, though, however, has got nearly 2k gold. I wouldn't expect Fiddle to gank after this clear. I'd expect him to do both of these. I'd expect him to do wolves and then go back. You need to make sure you are going back occasionally. Fiddle can stay out basically forever because of, like, look at that healing with his W and smite. And then especially having blue buff. Yeah, the champion, in theory, never needs to actually go back. But it is a good idea to do that. If you're wanting a good game, obviously. So yeah, wolves. Now I'd expect him to go back after this, and then, again, can turn up the usefulness again. Because you can see Udyr is now ganking Yasuo a few times. Got 1 kill on him. Yasuo now has to be a little bit careful. And right now, red team doesn't really have much pressure in the jungle. And he's not going back. Is he going back? He should go back. He really should. He's looking for a gank, I think, in mid. Again, don't want to be just waiting in a bush for like a minute. What's he deciding? Again, looking for that mid lane gank, it looks like. Putting some vision down. Putting more vision down. Again, these do act like control wards. And now the bush wait is happening. So, again, has over 2.2 thousand gold at 8 minutes into the game. Is not going back, is going for more farm. So, I don't know what it is. I think from memory, the first Fiddlesticks episode was the same. That maybe it's just Fiddlesticks players don't go back to buy items. I don't think that's correct. I think maybe we've just picked 2 players randomly that just don't like going back that much, which is pretty weird. But yeah, it's continuing the full clear. And I guess, again, so I would presume you do these 2 camps, do Krugs, then go back. Maybe, right? If you're wanting to go back, by the way, to go spend, you want to try to clear as many camps before you go back, because you clear them, and then from that moment, the respawn is happening. Are you doing Rift? No, you're on Vision. You're on Vision. He's on Vision right now. Oh, this is a mistake. So again, he's not gone back yet. He hasn't gone back. He's got 2.5 thousand gold. No items, because again, the jungle item disappears after 5 smites. Nothing. And now he's doing Rift. If anybody comes, the enemy team should know about this. He literally just walked in. And he's not moving. Diana's not moving. Where's Udyr? I just want to quickly pause it and just see where the hell the Udyr is. So the Udyr... Where is the Udyr? Am I lost? He's back at base! Oh, God, okay. Well, the Fiddlesticks is going to get away with it. So this is where, like, again, perfect play doesn't have to happen. We're in gold. This should never have been allowed, like, ever. But it is. It's being allowed. So I guess fair play to the Fiddlesticks. He's taking an opportunity that he shouldn't really get. Like this, I know to some people may disagree, but this is a bad call to do this. This was not a logical good call. Walking, if there wasn't the scuttle vision, sure. But there was scuttle vision on it. But the enemy team just didn't go for it. Again, not going back yet. Going for a gank. Going for it. Doesn't have the range. Does get tibbers. is nearly going to go down. Fiddle's going to die here, will go down, but does Annie go down, or is she going to get a double kill? Annie goes down. Mundo arguably walking the wrong way. Mundo should have continued downward. That would have been his faster way out of the tower, and Annie gets a double kill. Yeah, again, Fiddle has no strength to him in that gank. He literally had 0 items. So that's the first thing that we could say about this Fiddle's gameplay that, you know, definitely could be improved, is there's a lot of good in here. Let's just say that. A lot of good. Good jungle clear, dragon early, that's great. Good gank in the early game, but not going back for that amount of time and then deciding to go for basically a tower dive, near enough, with no items and over 2.5, nearing 3k gold. That's just a bit silly. Like that just isn't a great thing to do. So again, easy fix, go back when you have a lot of gold. Don't force ganks like you have to do them when you're holding that much money in the early game. Sure, in late game, if you're holding 3k gold, in late game it's not that big of a deal because you already have 2 or 3 completed items. Fiddle had no items. In the early game, getting items early is way more important because that's how you get your separation of strength. Udyr, though, gets a good dragon opportunity because he noticed the Fiddle got the first one really fast. Fiddle's dead. I'm going to get the dragon. So that's a good call by the Udyr because Fiddlesticks probably would have been on his way to go do that. But the game might calm down a bit. So Fiddlesticks, again, running Predator, by the way. Fiddle's got quite a lot of different builds that he can go with his rune setup. I think the most... I'll look it up because I don't want to be wrong. But I'm pretty sure Dark Harvest is the most popular nowadays. Let's see. Or Electrocute. So, no, okay. Electrocute is the most popular. But I will tell you guys the stats on them just so you guys are in the know. Right. So, the pick rate. Oh, no. Wrong. So, the highest pick rate for Fiddlesticks is Predator with a 31.5% pick rate. Dark Harvest is second with a 25.7% pick rate, and Electrocute is the third pick rate of 14.1. But if you wanted to go off win rates with those, and arguably, again, this is where data sometimes is confusing, is there's more data with Predator, so it in theory has a lesser win rate chance to be good, if that makes sense, because there's more games. But the win rate goes, Electrocute is the highest win rate with 54.4. Dark Harvest second, 53.0. Meanwhile, a big gank opportunity. Fiddle gets a nice gank. They're going to go for it, but I don't think Fiddle has enough damage. Udyr, maybe he does? I don't know. With the Ignite as well, he will survive, and that will probably be that. But yeah, Dark Harvest 53.0, and Predator, the most popular, 52.1. But again, the higher the pick rate is, generally the worse the win rate is going to be because it opens up more and more Fiddlesticks players affecting that win rate. It's why if there's a specialist champion in the game, overall win rate isn't generally a big thing to look at, but if there's a specialist champion, if you ever see a Riven or something like that, that was a mistake, a specialist champion with a good overall win rate, that's where you actually have to be really concerned because those champions shouldn't have a really good win rate. Technically, I know that might sound weird to people, but they're a specialist champion. The average player, or a Kali, same thing. The average player is going to be pretty poop on them. The specialists are really good at them. This is an odd, so I don't think it was running out soon. Bit of an odd Rift Herald to go for. I guess, well, actually, it's fine. Turret plates are going to run out in 20 seconds. Maybe he could have used it a bit earlier into the game, obviously. But the turret plates are running out in 10 seconds, so maybe it's okay. Udyr looking for a gank, maybe thinking about it a little bit, and decides not the thing to run into a Brand. Because, yeah, Brand, even though he's a support, has crazy damage, unsurprisingly. You know, when a champion in his base kit has health percentage damage, he builds Leandries, which is health percentage damage, and then can buy Demonic Embrace, which is health percentage damage. That champion's going to do quite a bit of damage. So more clearing on the go for Fiddle. Again, farming really well. 104 farm. Nearing 30 farm difference on the Udyr. Reminding people, jungle farm works a little bit different. That per jungle camp clear, you get 4 farm. Which is something. Yasuo having a fight in the river with the Diana. Fiddle is in the general area, though, so what is going to happen between these two mid laners? Predator procced for Fiddlesticks. Don't think that's going to give him the speed. It might, though. It's going to be close. Oh, Yasuo's going to go for it, and Fiddlesticks takes the kill. Udyr flashing into a fear of Fiddle, and now the enemy bot lane is trying to do something here. The weird thing is Tristana, who is 4-0, is somehow less experienced and less leveled than the opposing AD carry, which is a bit weird. Fiddlesticks has got ultimate up, may look for a tower dive. They do have vision of him here, so they shouldn't really fall for this, but enemy team just doesn't seem to be respecting it. Big Fiddle, here we go. Any second, come on, Fiddlesticks. Any moment. Does he not have it up? He has it up. Why didn't he go? Here we go. Any moment, here we go, folks. Go. Go. He might pull it off here. What? Unless he's not interested in the dive and he just wants the tower pressure. This is weird though. Arguably, I will say maybe he doesn't want to die, because I think if he went for the ult, he probably would have died under the tower. But now he's out of position completely. Should be fine though, because Brand is in the area. That was a little bit weird. So Fiddlesticks is a champion like an Annie or an Orianna that has the ultimate that you have to pull the trigger on at the right point. I think he had plenty of time to pull the trigger there several times, to be honest, and just didn't. Questionable is what I would say there. Very questionable, but it's fine. It's not a negative is what we'd say. There was a missed... It wasn't a negative because he didn't die, but there was a missed positive. That's the way that I sometimes word that. Ood is floating because both junglers have shown keen interest in dragons already this game. Fiddlesticks taking the first one, Udyr then taking the second one pretty much instantly when he saw Fiddlesticks was dead. So there might be a little bit of a fight in the area. Udyr hopefully doesn't start it randomly. Worth also noting, plated steel caps at Udyr, no Merc treads into a comp that has a lot of CC. Mundo slows, Fiddlesticks fears. Well, Yasuo not too much, but Tristana technically has slows too. They're engaging on the Yasuo. They don't instant burst him though, and he actually makes it out. Wow, that was oh, this Yasuo! We're in gold! Wow, that was clean as hell. Udyr dies, Diana dies, and now the dragon will be open. Don't know if that guy's a Smurf. That was clean though. Holy moly, that was nice. He even did the extended E to actually escape in the first place, by the way. So that was really good. Can't say, much of Fiddlesticks there, but that was just good by the Yasuo. Also, lovely tornado to stop the Diana getting on top. That was great. All right, dragon taken. You can see that, yeah, both teams are prioritizing the dragon a decent amount. Not surprising, because the dragon in League of Legends is still a lot of the strength of the game. Of like the key fighting points, the key buffs, like you're getting so much strength. And it's not like, the worst thing is a lot of the dragon buffs, people go, oh, they're not that bad. They're not that bad, but it's the point that only one team gets them. Like, that's the thing. You don't want to give your opponent anything that you don't have. So when one team is getting movement speed or tankiness or percentage AD and AP, that's one team that's getting it and one team that isn't. That's quite a big deal. It can give, like, for example, let's say it's an Infernal Dragon, and the first team gets the first 2 dragons that aren't Infernal, and then the next team gets 4 Infernal Dragons in a row. That's an insane amount of scaling. Like, that could take a early game team comp and make them late game. Like, that's how strong that is. Anyway, big play happening. Udyr, this is the weakness of the champion for me. He's a running champion. Meanwhile, Annie gets a nice shot. Arguable flash by Fiddle will go down to the Annie. But that's the weakness of Udyr. He didn't go down, but he's a running champ in essence, so he has to run into danger, and a lot of the time he just gets bursted before he can do anything. Yasuo, though, arguably shouldn't try to take on 3-4 people by himself unless he gets a really good ultimate off, but Mundo, again, having a relative, what I would say, free match this game against an Annie, I don't think he probably would have been that bothered at all. But yeah, that fight unfortunately doesn't go that well because Tristana's still bot lane. Zai didn't come over, but there was definitely a little bit of a number advantage for blue team. They were a bit more grouped, I'd say, and Fiddle, I don't know if he had ultimate, but he didn't use it again. If he had ultimate in that situation of standing around here, there was definitely, again, an ultimate opportunity before he got tibbers. So maybe we could say with this Fiddle, like, needs to be a little bit more use the ultimate. That generally, for a lot of Fiddlesticks players at least, is the key thing of playing Fiddle. Is that big ultimate that just takes over a team fight. So Moe are we clearing? Trying to maintain decent farm, which is good. Obviously, Rift Herald, no one took it. Baron now has killed the Rift Herald, so no second Rift Herald this game at all. Dragon will be coming up in, what, about 2 to 3 minutes from this point. So there could be another big team fight then as well. One thing I will say was, with red team, obviously just talking about team comp here, prefer their comp. And that's just the basic nature of having something like an Annie top. I think that's what, and there's a partially like, oh, play what you like, play what you enjoy, play what you're good at, but I would obviously also say don't play Annie top. It's not the fact that you're going to do terrible. The Annie's 4-2. Oh, Huz, she's doing fine. It's the fact that you, in essence, make a team comp unbalanced. Like, normally, each role is supposed to fulfill something, and generally top lane is there to fulfill, a bruiser, a tanky, CC. Like, that's the general role, and obviously, yes, there are exceptions, or, crazy lifesteal damage carries and all that stuff. There are exceptions. There are cheese picks, but Annie is obviously not one of those. Like, she's a mage, so you're now just putting another mage in your team, and you're missing out on a kind of mid laner, or a top laner. So, I'm not going to say it's literally the worst thing in the world, but if you're really, good Tibbers, you're really wanting to climb, arguably playing Annie top is going to hurt you rather than help. But anyway, really good Tibbers, so that was good by the blue team. They're trying to make Dew a little bit of a number advantage. Fiddlesticks just wasn't in the area. He was getting the vision, and his team kind of overstayed and got, I think, flash Tibbers. Here we go. Maybe an ultimate play by Fiddle, which we wanted to see more of. Any moment now. So he's trying to get better positioning to be in range. Here we go, big ult, bam! Then the Proto gets the fear into the tower, and Xayah practically doesn't really move with the fears and everything. So yeah, overstay by the Xayah there completely. Maybe, we've killed everybody, Mundo's run away, I'm fine, kind of forgets that there's a Fiddle. Dragon, though, is spawning within a minute. That's what that emblem on the dragon in the minimap means. So, again, questionable. Well, he should have ultimate up, I guess, before the dragon comes up. But if, let's say, it's coming up in 20 seconds, then there needs to be some stalling. You want to have that big ultimate up for this next big fight that I presume is going to take place at dragon. Small random chance that blue team could go Baron. You've got a Tibbers and an Udyr with Annie. They could probably duo Baron. But I don't think that probably will happen. But yeah. Anyway, Dragon is spawning now. Fiddlesticks is still 15 seconds away from its ultimate, so I probably wouldn't want to see Red Team start this. Either take the fight without a Fiddlesticks ult, or get some good poke harassment down, but I definitely want them to wait for the Fiddle ult. They are trying to get the Lulu. Again, that's good pressure. They have Fiddlesticks ult now, by the way, so they can pull the Dragon if they want to, pull it out. Udyr going all in. Again, running champion. Can't get that big pick on the Trist. Diana looking for a big ultimate. Fiddlesticks is going to walk and just get a big ultimate. Here we go. Bam, and that's what we want to see. Big team fight ultimate by Fiddle. That's what we wanted to see a couple times this game. Fiddlesticks will just survive, though, in the end. And there you go. Double kill by him, and they take the dragon. So that's what we want to see. That's good. Overall, fantastic. Lulu, again, slight mistake by her. Mispositioning before the dragon. Gets caught out. Has to, she survives, but isn't in there for the team fight, which sometimes is vital. Like, ulting your carry, or even ulting your Udyr to give him the extra little oomph to CC people is quite important, and just Lulu wasn't there. But anyway, Baron being called. I think this is a good call. The enemy team is just spawning now. Arguably, Tristana should have been there from the start if possible, but they should be able to do this. Again, it depends if Udyr is going to run straight away there, but you also have to note there is currently a 3-level difference between the junglers. Fiddle is level 13, Udyr is level 10. And again, that's because the farm difference, obviously. Fiddlesticks has got 50% more farm. The neutral objectives, Fiddlesticks has taken most of them. Enemy team, I've heard flashes and things go off. I think that was the Fiddlesticks passive. But yeah, so jungle XP, this, by the way, this is after the patch, so this is with the jungle nerfs. Does anybody really notice that many nerfs with the jungle? Like, yes, there's so much little XP. It hasn't changed the jungle, like, not really. Nothing this game screams to me, oh my god, the jungle's been nerfed. Not really. It's still the... Like I said, when they announced all these nerfs to XP, I was like, that's probably not going to do that much, because that's not the problem of jungle. It's not the fact that junglers are getting to higher levels quicker than in the lanes. Yes, they're doing okay with XP, and maybe this change has brought them down to lane kind of rate, like lane tempo, But that isn't the difference. The problem with the jungle is, like this game is showing, there is one jungler doing better than another. Like in top lane, you can go neutral. In mid, you can go neutral. In bot lane, you can go neutral and even. That doesn't really exist in the jungle because there's only like in bot lane, technically both laners can get all their farm. That's it. Again, in jungle, you can both take your farm, but then there's neutral camps, only one jungler can get. There's dragons, only one jungler can get. There's Rift Heralds, only one jungler can get. That's more the problem with the jungle. And you're not going to fix that. Like, that's the thing. People say, what's the fix? There isn't really a fix unless you fundamentally change jungle. Like that's what jungling is. One jungler is going to do better than the other one. That's it. You know, and it's even the way with League of Legends nowadays that you could be a heavy ganking jungler. You do amazing in the early game. The other jungler just farms and gets every dragon. And which jungler did better? Like there's two, you know, also different play styles of jungle that it's not clear which style is better. Obviously what you want is do both. And some junglers do, like this Fiddlesticks. High farm, good XP, still has higher kill participation than who did. Right, so they're going to maybe look to siege a little bit with the Baron. You can see Fiddlesticks. The one thing with the champion is he's fairly predictable in the fact that you know in mid to late game there's a Fiddlesticks going to be off to the side looking to ult on your face. That is just inevitable. That is how the champion works. You know, the enemy team is looking for this engage, and Fiddlesticks so far has not done anything. He's a bit too far away, but his team is managing to do okay without him. And arguably, you know, you saw Udyr down here, Diana down here. They were kind of playing with the Fiddlesticks a little bit too much, and that just allowed Yasuo to rip apart the team. Triple kill for him. And by the way, meanwhile, engage with then the Fiddlesticks ultimate. Good fear, and there you go. And that was a 4v5 because Mundo was top lane the whole time. So this is just the advantage of having more of a teamfight comp and also the pressure of Fiddle being off to the side as well. The enemy team split for that teamfight. They had number advantage. They didn't use number advantage. But yeah, opening up two base entrances at the same time. Mundo, you know, having a split push game is a bit weird, but that's okay, I guess. You know, yes, maybe he would need to group up if his team was struggling. But his team isn't really struggling. So they're going to get double inhibitor straight away. That's a big deal for pressure and everything because now there's only one lane. And, you know, the spawn times of the inhibs are within 10 seconds of each other. So it gives you plenty of time, gives you double the super minions at the same time. Now you can go to bot lane after the dragon. And you know, that's going to be really hard for the enemy team to deal with, to be honest. So, yeah. Would blue team want to give up this dragon? No, this is the soul dragon. So arguably before super minions actually make it to the enemy base, they should maybe attempt to fight this, which obviously is risky. If they lose this fight, the game's over. If they win the fight, you could slowly maybe try to bring it back. So that just got used, the scrying orb. That would, again, process of elimination. Someone's down there. Oh, Xayah positioning. Has to be very careful. She gets stunned by Brand. That's a big deal. And some people are like, oh, she's 1 and 5. Still an AD carry in late game. You still want to prioritize that. Mundo looking at aggressive. Brand ultimate, by the way, that was. And they're going to start the dragon. I'm not incredibly liking the positioning here. I would have loved it to be pulled out, but it doesn't matter. They do get it anyway. And now that is Dragon Soul. So one team now is Dragon Soul, the other doesn't. What red team should be looking to do is group bot lane. Simple as that. Go bot lane. You have super minions top lane. You have super minions mid lane. Just go bot lane with the pressure that the game is giving you. You don't need a player in these now. You have the minions. You as 5 are going to clear that really fast. You're going to get towers really fast. That's how you maximize your pressure. Right, so they're pushing it in. They got minions on the way. Again, no super minion yet. Well, wait, why there's no super? Oh, because this isn't in the hib. Haha, that's why. There's super minions in the other lanes. Right. So blue team is semi trying to look to defend it, but they shouldn't. They should just back off into their base. They have to probably concede a lot of this. You either go for a Hail Mary all in, look for a big Tibbers or something, but she now doesn't have flash. So you either look for a Hail Mary all in, try to win the team fight, which is going to be difficult, or you just kind of concede this all, you farm up. Like, that's the one thing. When you have super minions and minions flooding into your base, you are going to get a lot of farm. So if the enemy team cannot end, and you can just kind of turtle, you're actually gaining gold quite rapidly from that. But it's going to be, you know, it's hard to defend anyway. Tristana randomly mid lane, don't like that. Of all people to be there. If anyone would be there, would be Mundo, because he has teleport. Anyway, Bran looking a bit aggressive. Xayah overly aggressive, but does have ultimate. Yasuo thinking about it. Bran throws his ultimate. He has been a little bit willy-nilly with that ultimate this game. Excuse me. Dry throat. Double tibbers. Diana ultimate. Here we go. The enemy team might walk forward, and if they do, into the clutches of the Fiddlesticks. So that's really good by Fiddle. So he knows the champion. He just waited. Like, in essence, that's what Fiddlesticks does. He is tanking tower, does survive. But yeah, so this Fiddlesticks overall, remember this is a gold Fiddle, has been like in bronze and silver the past few seasons, so there's definitely been improvement. But overall, tick, tick, tick of good farm, good pressure. The only thing I'd say is, especially in the early game, needed to go back a lot quicker and not go for that kind of tower dive without any items. Also, the ultimate use, probably could have used ultimate a little bit quicker also in several situations. A little bit too reserved in the early game with it. But now the enemy team is looking to go that aggressive finally. Well, I don't think the red team will survive this, but you have to remember, yes, they're going aggressive. There are minions flooding into their base. So if this takes them a little bit too long and they actually don't get any kills, any more kills, if it took them too long, the minions would overwhelm the base. And by the way, now, because all inhibitors are dead, double super minion waves are going in the base. Red team arguably should just go back. How much gold does Fiddlesticks have? He has nearly 3,000 gold. Go back, my friend. Go back, buy, get your strength up. You could go do Baron still with the inhibitors, like pressure, and then you can just walk into the base with Baron with your increased strength. So he has Morello. Don't think he needed a Morello this game. We'll say that. Again, partially because the anti-healing sucks. The healing is too overbuffed in the game, and you know, anti-healing just doesn't do enough. Deathcap, arguably, or Zhonya's would have just been a better choice. More damage sometimes will just do better than actually the anti-heal. But yeah, they're doing Baron without the Fiddlesticks, which is questionable, but maybe they just think Udyr can't really get in, and you know, Fiddlesticks makes it in the end, does get the flash and everything, so it ends out okay. Obviously the red team's got fairly a lot of confidence that the enemy team won't be doing that much to them now. So the inhibs, by the way, are respawning, and because they had this one at a different time, this one's going to spawn, that one's going to spawn. So now you can look walking into the base still with a double super minion wave, having that pressure. So Fiddle's going to look for the Udyr, still a 3-level advantage. Ultimate coming down. I don't know how much damage a Fiddle will do to the Udyr, but it's enough. There you go. 3-level advantage, big strength difference, and a little bit of magic resist, but no Merc Treads on Udyr versus a Fiddle I think is a bit disrespectful. The QSS was actually mistimed by the Tristana, unfortunately for her. Annie will go down. Yasuo looking aggressive on the Xayah. Brand flashing aggressively as well. Diana's ultimate, though, coming down. Fiddlesticks is dead. He died somewhere in there. Triple kill for Diana. Mundo, though, look at this Mundo. Yes, he is getting a rework as a champion. But that, again, he's not weak. Mundo is not a weak champion. But also, again, he's been given a relatively free game. He's against an Annie top lane. It's not going to really do that much to him. So Mundo had a relative free game this game too. But there we go. That's a good Fiddlesticks game. So a lot of positives from this Fiddle. Like, not many negatives at all. More positives than negatives for sure. You can definitely see this guy climbing. So that's good. But yeah, a bit of a step up from last game. But, you know, step up from last game, but also similarities. Both Fiddle players overstayed with too much gold quite often. And I know maybe their whole thing is, oh, I have my ultimate up now. I want to make that big ult play. Like, if I go back, I might miss it. But go back. Use that gold, especially in the early game. But that's going to be it. If you guys did enjoy, do throw a like on it. Let me know what you think down below, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.